Hello Arushi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderfully. Thank you for asking. My day has been proceeding swimmingly so far, and I hope the same for you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So just give me a second. We have met before once, haven't we,
Yes,
Arushi? It's been a long time, I suppose. I don't recall the details of our meeting. Do you remember what we spoke about?
yes,
We spoke about guests.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So I see your short-term goal here is correct vocabulary selection. So
Mm-hmm.
last time, the time that we were talking, I must have, because the last time would have been our first interaction together. So I must have assessed you and I must have given you some sort of a framework over which to proceed. Do you remember my feedback?
I don't precisely remember, but I'm sure you have corrected me here and there to use better words.
I okay. I think I provided some rephrasing exercises, right?
Yes.
Because tell me, just remind me of what you are trying to accomplish here.
I'm here to become fluent in speaking and use some advanced words and not the same words always.
All right. You seem to have, your grammar and your construction seems to be strong. So
Mm-hmm.
your basic communication, I think, is already good. You said I have to gain fluency. That is the first thing, right? So fluency comes from three things. One is accuracy of speech. The other is a sturdy flow, an agreeable flow of speech, and the third thing is confidence. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have all these three things, then you are able to put forward your idea distinctly and with clarity, right? With precision. And if you're able to do that, then you are a fluent speaker in my book, because that is the criteria by which I assess. Okay, who is a fluent speaker? Now, I think fluency should not be your goal, because I suspect you are already fluent. Okay, because you already have these three things. As far as I remember, we'll again put that to the test. But if you remembered our last interaction, I think I might have told you this,
Yeah.
that construction is nice, flow is there, you seem to be speaking without taking any breaks, and you do exude confidence. So all the three criteria are there to make you a fluent speaker. Now I think you want to take it to the next level and you want
Mm-hmm.
to become an impactful speaker. Okay, that is what I believe you are here to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so let us get you speaking immediately. Our topic today is home sweet home. All right. Now,
Yes.
there's a very beautiful thought right at the start, that there is a certain difference between a house and a home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would like you to explain to me what you think the difference is.
Okay, so for example, if you are hunting for a place to live in new city, maybe for example, then you search for house. You get a house like there is a roof, there are four walls and everything. Like there is furniture also. But after getting that house, you try to convert that house into home. If I'll get a house somewhere as like rented apartment, I'll try to convert that house into home. I'll try to decorate that house as per my aesthetics. I'll add for like I like plants, so I'll try to add some plants, some decorative ideas, and to make it beautiful. You have to take efforts to convert that house into home.
Okay. So you are saying there is one thing that makes a house a home, when you add a bit of your personality to the decor.
Yeah, a personal touch, maybe some decoration, things you like, furniture, lamp, decorative items. If you're living alone, but there is one more definition for home. If there are people living with you, then you call it home. So there are two things. I am giving an example when you are hunting for a place to live. For example, you're going to a new place for a job and you are buying a rented like you're getting a rented apartment, and that's how you convert that place into home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if that is a very accurate answer, I think both of your points are very well thought out. So, let me probe this a little further. Let me make this a little bit difficult for you. Okay. So, suppose I left home, I took a degree in my hometown itself, and then for job purposes, suppose I go to a metropolitan city, and then I rent an apartment over there to live wherever, where the locality in which I work, next to
Mhm.
it, I find for myself, right? So, how long do you think once I start living there? How long do you think it becomes home? After I keep, like, suppose I bought a lot of new curtains. I bought a lot of knickknacks here and there. I bought a lot of showpieces, and like, completely changed the ambience of the place altogether. Right. So if I did it in the first week, do you think it would become my home?
I think it depends on person to person how much time you want to take to decorate that place. I'll give you my example. If I will be at your place, I'll do it as soon as possible because I want to live in a space where it is comfortable, it is lively, and it is as per my aesthetics, as per my likings. So I will try to do it maybe within a week. But I think especially for boys it takes a lot of time because I don't think boys fall into such decoration things a lot. They are fine with their bed and their necessary things. So that's why I said it depends on person to person.
Okay. So suppose I am a boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same question. I am a boy. I completed my graduation degree, my BTech from my hometown. Okay, I lived with my parents. I lived with my siblings. When I go, and then let us say I'm a metrosexual boy, so I'm very interested in
Mm-hmm.
buying all of this stuff
Okay.
and decking up the place. Okay, and I do that within a month, within a week. I do that, right?
Mhm.
Do you think in the coming week it would start feeling like home?
Yeah, it should. But since you have spent a lot of time, a lot of years in your hometown, it will be difficult, of course, to adjust in a new place. And you have been living with your loved ones, and here there is no one, you're living alone. So it's, of course, difficult, but at the same time, it is the decision for your career, for your future. So I think everyone try to adjust. And but within a week, it's very early. I think it will take a month at least.
Okay. So you're saying after a month in the same scenario, I would start feeling like home. It would start feeling like home,
I
right?
think one should start feeling accepting because there is always a homesickness. If you have been always
Mhm.
living with your family and suddenly you are like coming out of the family for your job purpose or anything, so it is difficult, of course, but I think we should accept that change. I think I'm very diplomatic, but that's how it is. I have been living, so that's why my experience is we should, it's always better to accept the change as early as possible. Otherwise, you keep feeling lonely, and these things impact on other things like your job and work and everything.
Mhm. Give me a second. I can't see. I couldn't see my own statements. Okay. So I would politely disagree with you there, and I
Okay.
think we are missing out on one very important point. Okay, home
Mm.
is a state of mind. Okay,
Okay.
and the second point which you kind of remembered, at the end, and you said, yes, there is one other thing that you have family members and you have loved ones, the people who care for you. So there is a quotation, there is a English proverb that you could have used there, right? You could have said, home is where the heart is. Have you
Okay.
heard this one?
Yeah, I
A pretty ordinary, pretty garden variety English idiom, right? Home is where the heart is. So, what do we mean by heart, right? Where is our heart? So, our heart is this is the point number three. Also, it connects to point number three. Also, the point number three is heart is in the place where we build memories. Okay, where we spend time, where we have some good memories, and then the collection of memories when it starts outweighing your hometown, only then does it start becoming feeling like your home. Otherwise you would, yes, of course people adjust, yes, of course people find their place, people might feel homesick, people practically, yeah, like pragmatically people might think it is good to adjust, but the feeling of home, you'll not get that feeling in that apartment. When you go back to your parents, then you'll feel acha ghar aa gaye, this is home. Now if you got married there and you started building memories, right, then everything starts to change. I guess because I've met a lot of boys in my life who can attest to this fact also. I think you can also draw upon some of your experiences, speaking with boys. So they might have lived for years and years on end, but they still say home, ghar jana hai. They use the word ghar. They don't say, that they want to call their apartment the home. They say ghar jana hai, to matlab that is always ghar is where the parents live and when. So you're when you start creating memories, this was an important point
okay.
which could have been added very beautifully to your answer. It would have rounded it off, right? Perfectly. Okay. All right. Moving on. When did you leave home? Tell me about your experiences.
When did you leave home? I'm not getting it.
So, have you always stayed in your hometown only? Have you ever left home for education, for employment?
Okay. Yes, I did. In year 2018, I left my hometown, my home, to pursue my career in one of the cities, other cities like metropolitan cities in the same state. But yes, it was difficult. It was my first time. I completed my all education from my native place, Nagpur, Maharashtra. But then there were limited opportunities in my hometown when it comes to my career. So I had to take a decision to move to another city and start a new life to for my career, for my professional growth and everything. And it was difficult, but I think it was a wise decision, I must say.
Okay, so you are originally from Nagpur.
I'm from Nagpur, Maharashtra. Yes,
Okay. And where do you stay currently?
I'm currently
I live in Pune is
yeah.
better. And you don't mind me asking if you're married?
Yeah,
Yes,
I.
you are married. So you got married in Pune itself.
Hello. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got married in Pune itself. That was my last question.
No, I shifted to Pune after marriage.
Okay.
Actually, I was already living in Pune. It's just
Yeah.
that my husband is from different state. I'm from different state, but we both live together in Pune now.
Okay. So personally, when do you feel, you were living in Pune for a pretty long time before you got married, right?
Mhm.
So did Pune feel like your like Pune feel the place, the entire vicinity where you live? Did it feel like home before you get married? Before you got married?
Okay, so I'll explain why I said that you should accept and everything because I was saying all these things from my perspective. Okay, I left my hometown and I shifted here, but at the same time, I think I was very fortunate that I got friends from Nagpur. So they made me feel like Pune. We six girls living in the same flat, and it was a very good environment. Yes, I was missing my home, but it was not like I was homesick or anything. I lived in a very good environment. I got very good friends, even office circle
Mhm.
also. So it was easy for me. That's why I said I might have not thought about that home is where the
It's
heart
fine.
is. But
It's okay. I'm not
at the
questioning anything that happened before.
no,
Okay. I'm not
I'm just
circling back
explaining.
to that.
And now also I think my hometown is Nagpur. Then my in-laws' home is in Jharkhand. I am living in Pune. So I think being a girl, it's always very difficult to say that home is where heart is. Because
Hmm.
I have three homes now. So how can I say that?
That's a very interesting tangent. I think we should explore that. Women in India,
Hmm.
they are kind of, how do we put it, unanchored. As you were saying, like once you get out of your parents' home, once you get married, even like in India, even parents sometimes say, "Ki beti ab tera ghar nahi hai." Okay, this is not your
Yes,
home. Wahi
yes.
tera ghar hai, right? It's a very common line. You
Mhm.
must have heard it
Yeah.
also, probably, right? So that idea is implanted into their brains. I cannot relate because I'm not a woman, but I'm sure that the idea is implanted slowly. I have a sister going through the same things. She went, so okay, this is not your home anymore. No, idea is planted somewhere, no matter how
Mhm.
sensitively it is done, right? And then in the traditional structure of family, like earlier it used to be different, now it is obviously different because now women work and now women contribute to the family income, and therefore they have a stake, right, in the place that they own together with their spouses, right? But earlier
Mhm.
even the husband could have said, for example, ki, okay, if you don't live according to me, then I'll leave you. And leaving you in America means like the guy stepping out of the house and going away. In India, it means the woman will be thrown out of the house and she'll have to go
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So even there also sometimes a lot of times she doesn't feel that this is my home. Okay. So this is a very big, like I think a social critique that needs to be done here. And to what so being a woman and this being a topic that affects you directly, right? So what would you kind of see? What would you like to see these traditions and these mentalities evolve? How would you like to see them evolve so that this can be gotten rid of, or this can be
I
remedied somehow?
I think I'm very fortunate that I born in a in the phase where it is not that stigma is not there. It's still not there
Mhm.
because I don't have a brother. Like we are two sisters. So with my upbringing, it was never like that. You will get married and you will leave your house and anything. And my parents were also very open minded. So I'm very grateful about that. But and having said that, there are still girls who are going through these things. So there is one solution, I think. It's not a solution, but it's very important that woman needs to be independent, because if you're independent, you are that confident that you can say things what you want to say, because you know that no, even if your partner leaves, you can earn your bread and butter and you can live your life. It's not that you are dependent on your parents or your husband or on your in-laws. So being independent is one of the solutions, and the other one is awareness or
Mhm. Okay.
equality, that
Okay.
girl, that son and your daughter are same. So these things I think
Mm.
matters a lot.
Okay. I couldn't agree more. I think also when progressive parents come
Yeah.
in one generation in a family, they can disrupt a chain of bigoted thinking that has been passed down from generation to generation. It just takes one person somewhere to
Yeah.
cut off the lifeline of the rotten mentality, let us put it. Okay.
Mhm.
And so, for
There is
example, if
a
this,
yeah,
go ahead. No, please.
no, I just realized the trend going on that, am I audible? Yeah.
Okay.
There's a trend
Now
going
you are,
on.
yes.
It says that you need one rebel kid in your family who changes everything. Like you
Hmm.
are, you have been living the same life and the same rules and regulations, but there's one person in the family who wants to do something different, and they and that one kid opened the path for other generation. So I just recall that thing.
Okay, that's absolutely true. So, okay, do we have come to the feedback section? Okay, now I heard you speak quite a lot
Yes.
today. So, what
Mhm.
I understand is you're actually more than a fluent speaker. You know, you can put forward your ideas in a very well thought out manner, and you do use the correct vocabulary. For example, you use the I think you used the word stigmatization at some point, right? You said that there was not a
Yes. Yeah.
great stigma of what stigma
Mhm.
were you talking about? The stigma of being separated,
I
the
was
girl
talking.
feeling separated, alienated from the home.
Yes, that once you get married, your in-laws' house is your house. That one.
Okay, yeah, that is a stigmatized topic of human behavior here. So yeah, but
Mhm.
I think that there are some today. I don't think I could have supplanted in our discussion a lot many other vocabulary words which would have applied, or a lot many phrases that would have applied here. Some mistakes also happened, and some suggestions I can make. And then I want you. I think you are at a juncture in your education where you should be like learning as many phrases as you can, because now you have
Okay.
arrived at that, at that juncture, at that stature, from
Mhm.
where you
Mhm.
have to like think very differently about vocabulary. Now
Okay.
you have to think about idioms and phrases as much as we can. Okay, so on that front I see that there is room for improvement. Okay, idioms and phrases can be helped, like, so learning 3 a day would actually be a pretty good idea for you. Okay,
Okay.
currently. So I'll try to give you something
Mm-hmm.
before you leave, some new idioms or phrases that you could use in your daily life. Okay, before that I want to tell you, born in the place, like this is the sentence that you said, right? I born
Yeah,
in the
I was
place.
there.
You have to say I was born, right? You are the
Mm-hmm.
object. Okay, and you also said open minded, so I wanted to suggest
Progressive.
open minded is fine.
Yeah,
Yes, you can use
progressive.
the word progressive, right? And this word, do you know this